This Friday, Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan are back to switch things up in Disney's Freakier Friday.
Totally. Yes.
It's an absolute riot.
Woo!
And the only movie that can be described as
So much weirder than the last time. What last time?
it's the freakquel
You ready?
we've been waiting for.
That absolutely slays.
What deeply out of touch old person came up with that?
You did.
Wow.
Don't miss the comedy event of the summer for all ages. Disney's Freakier Friday in theaters this Friday. Get tickets now. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.
It's Wednesday Addams. I see you're trying to distract yourself from your own banal thoughts. Let me help. Here's a recording thing made of my latest root canal.
Wednesday, Season 2, begins August 6th, only on Netflix.
It's back to school season, and Clorox is donating 2 million disinfecting wipes to classrooms across America. Because back to school means things can get a little bit messy. Just ask kindergarten teacher Miss Gibson.
Give me just one Clorox wipe and I'm ready for glitter glue, exploded lunchbox yogurt, peanut butter handprints, runny noses, picking noses, rubbing noses.
Touching noses.
Thank you, Edward. Ooh, nap mats and lockers and tissue boxes. And
Clorox
scissors.
disinfecting wipes. Teacher's #1 wipe. Clean feels good. Based on unit sales data.
Pie in the Sky Media. This series contains adult language and descriptions of graphic violence throughout. Listener discretion is advised.
3, 2, 1. Happy Labor Day, Murder Chronicles Nation. I hope that you're really taking advantage of this day that was gifted to us by the workers who make this country what it is. Okay?
Absolutely.
And yes, and I know it's a little bit oxymoronic to celebrate working by taking a day off, but you know,
I think that makes total sense.
I do too, you know, and again, it's another little bit of stoic wisdom that, you know, you have to allow your mind and body to rest. If you don't, you are robbing yourself of future productivity by getting burnt out. Okay. Mm-hmm. So to ensure your greatest output and your greatest whatever, you know, creativity or physical output, that rest is an integral component of that. So
did you take today off?
no. I did not take the day off, but
you know, you have like a bullshit meter that's about a mile long, baby.
Yeah, I wanted to, but you know, there's just, you know, I got to catch up on stuff. There's a lot going on.
Hey, I get it.
I know. Like these days when no one else is working and there aren't any meetings or calls, or you know how much I can get done on days like that.
I do.
Yeah, I know. So that's the secret. Work on holidays and then fuck off on regular work days, I guess, is the moral of the story. How was your long weekend? What'd you do?
You know what? It was great. I just love me some Denzel Washington. And
I didn't get to, I'm going to see that probably tonight.
Oh my God.
I love that fucking guy.
And it's so funny because there's this one part, and I'm not going to ruin anything because obviously he's a badass and he kicks everybody's ass and it's so rewarding. And he did this thing where he like killed this guy and he was looking in his eye like that the whole way. And I started laughing because I just love how Denzel Washington, his whole approach, just everything about him. I absolutely,
he's great.
And I love kids and seeing like his kid, like I didn't even realize like Ballers. I don't know if you ever watched that show. Oh my gosh. It was Dwayne Johnson and he plays like a sports guy. Yeah. And so Denzel's son plays this really charismatic football player. And anyway, it's just great. I love Denzel. I love the movie. And I was laughing at this one part where the guy, he like totally gives this guy these eyeballs and looks at him the whole time he's like killing him. And it's just, I started laughing because I just love everything about him, you know, just everything. So it was really enjoyable. So I highly recommend it. It was just, we had a great weekend and I just love Denzel.
I have some funny Denzel stories. You want one?
I'd love one.
So I'm like 19 years old. I'm living in the Valley in North Hollywood. And where my neighborhood was like right where like kind of three communities combined, like there's Burbank to the south, North Hollywood to like the west, and then Toluca Lake to the east. Burbank's nice. My neighborhood in North Hollywood was really dog shit. And then Toluca Lake is like the Beverly Hills of the Valley. Like it's really, really nice. All within like a block and a half of each other. Okay. So it's Halloween night. Me and my roommate, we were drinkers. Okay. And so we decided we want to go get free candy. Right. So we get like, you know, a nice buzz going. And then we dress up as like baseball players and we just go out and we're, because we have Yankee jerseys. So it's like,
you're dressed up for Halloween right now.
Yeah, I know. It's a jersey and like a baseball hat. And we're like, oh, hey, knock, knock. And so we're not causing any trouble or anything, but we have full beers and empty beers in our candy bags, right? Like hiding them so we could
psycho.
I know. So we could like jump in the alley and like pound a beer real quick.
Got it.
So we're, you know, and Denzel was already, this was like, you know, the early 90s. Denzel was already huge. Right. And he had a big movie back then called Ricochet that was coming out. It might have already been out. And but anyway, so we're knocking on doors, trick or treat, great, getting kind of weird glances from grown-ups. Knock on one door, and Denzel Washington opens the door.
Okay, you didn't say that you went to the good neighborhood.
Okay, that's all you go. That's the only place you go.
Well, you know what? I mean, it's kind of a stretch to be trick-or-treating at 18.
It was awful. And he called us out on it.
Oh, good. That's why
he looked at us.
He keeps it real.
He looked at us and he goes, "What are you fucking guys doing?" And we instantly felt like pieces of shit.
As you should have.
We're like, "Oh man, I'm so." And he looks, and he was giving us candy. He looks in our bag. He goes, "Are those empty fucking beer bottles in your candy bag?" We're like, "Yeah." He goes, "Give me those goddamn things." And he took our empties for us and threw them out. And we promised him that we were going to go right home with our tail between our legs, and we did. And that was Denzel, funny and smiling, and I think he's one of our greatest movie stars. Him and Tom Cruise. Yeah. I mean, I talk about it now, the trick-or-treating story as funny, but for years I was really embarrassed by it. You know?
Yeah, I can see why. I mean,
in the moment, I thought it was super cool. I was getting free candy. But then I was like, oh man, that's kind of shitty. God. Like, what would I do if a 19-year-old showed up at my house trick-or-treating? You know, that's how I think now. I would be like,
I think that, like, you know, when we take our kids trick-or-treating, our older kids come with, and it's now like a celebration. Like my daughter, she dressed up with her boyfriend and my other daughter too. And they're over 18, you know, Sophie's just turned 23 and Amelia's 19 anyway. But they're really these elaborate costumes. And they were like, her and her boyfriend were Sally and what's that? Why am I spacing on Jack Skellington? And
cool.
They were just so like, people just were more interested in them than the younger kids because they look so good. So I think that Halloween can be that fun thing, but not for like posers like you and your like.
It wasn't
Gen X move. That's such a like.
She wasn't wearing
players.
A dirty Dave Winfield jersey and a baseball hat and like, oh, I'm a New York Yankee. No, you're not. You're an asshole. Yeah,
little boy.
Oh, jeez.
Picture you being like, this is my acting debut. I'm going to pull this off. I'm totally going to pull this off.
Well, I'm going to go see The Equalizer 3 probably tonight, so I can't wait.
Okay. Well, you will love it, and you're going to know exactly the scene that I'm talking about.
Great.
And it's not disappoint, and I love it.
I'm a big fan. All right, so let's get into this. Sad story about Ingrid. All right, so Renton, Seattle, greater Seattle area.
Okay, let me just say that this is the city that I live in. So
I know. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I know. All right.
So you don't have to be psycho about it. All right.
So she's 40. She was 40.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
3 kids.
Yeah.
Dating. Okay. Mm-hmm. So what the first thing that really struck me was just the sadness of her mother trying, texting with this guy, like finding out, putting the number into Facebook, getting a name. Like that was interesting. I hadn't heard that before. Like, is that, I'm not a big social media guy. So can you do that on Facebook? Do you put your phone number in Facebook?
I mean, as somebody who tries to track people down when I'm doing my stories or trying to, there's different places that I didn't know that you could put a person's phone number in the search engine and it come up. So I was surprised by that too. But, I mean, apparently you can, especially if someone has their number
in Facebook, right? As part of their profile, I would imagine.
So that
becomes searchable.
Sense. Yeah.
Well, okay, so that was interesting. And then and I didn't know where you were going, because a lot of times, you kind of Law and Order us a little bit, where you give us a red herring in the first act, right? And it winds up not being the person. Um and so at first I was just ascribing a little bit of kind of discretion to this guy, or like, I don't know what's happening. I don't want to say anything that might incriminate me wrongfully, so I'm just going to respectfully kind of step back. Okay. And a little bit of your narrative seemed to support that. And then we just go in this other fucking really strange direction. So here's my problem. So they go to a Mariners game.
Yeah.
What year was this? 2016, whatever.
Mhm.
So the Mariners were okay. Whatever. Okay. So you go to a baseball game.
You know, the Mariners have never gone to a World Series.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
the only Major League Baseball team that has not
made it to the World Series. Not
Right.
even winning one. They haven't gone. And and they have the single season win record too. They won the most games in a single season and then lost in the first round of the playoffs. So yikes. But regardless,
But we got some love here for the Mariners. I
bet you do. Yeah,
so,
of course.
yeah,
Of
yeah.
course. So John Charlton was this guy. Okay.
Yeah.
And you really kind of buried the lead when you're introducing us to John Charlton, and we have to hear it in an interview when they ask him where he lives.
Mhm.
Okay. Now,
You don't always know if someone is homeless. You can't. There's so many people.
You do.
You don't.
You do.
You don't. I think you'd be surprised at how many people are able to appear as if they are not homeless when they truly are.
Like, because he said, like, drop me off on a corner in Seattle, like in the city.
But we don't even know if that's what happened. I mean, the fact that he would just say that, like, and he had this ex-girlfriend that he could go and, like, I think he was a couch surfer. And I think that just shows when he was in that interview, he's like, I'm homeless, like,
All right,
he's
so
not
he might have
saying-
been like playing it up a little bit, because hearing him talk, it's like, this is a homeless guy who lives like in a tent city and is like wandering the streets. Like that's what I pictured. Okay.
No, that's not what he looked like. That's not what he in the
So
video.
you don't think that she knew? You don't think that
I don't
Ingrid knew
think
that he was
she
homeless?
knew. I don't think she knew, but I don't know. You're right. I mean, or if she did know, he had a story for her. He had a story as to why he was down on his luck or whatever. Like there's no reason. I mean, she would not have brought someone that had a massive criminal record like he did, and with the issues that he had, into her home, into her life. There's no way. I don't know her, but there's nothing that would indicate in her life that she would do that. And I think he probably had a really great story. I mean, she's a successful nurse.
Right.
She owns her own home has her 3 children just I mean, this was the very beginning of their relationship. And I'm sure he was just like, yeah, I'm between jobs right now. It's really tough. People have a story.
See, that's what I was thinking about it. Because being a nurse, like, her job is observing the condition of someone's person, right? Like, she has an eye for that. Like, you don't think she might have noticed?
I think she would have noticed. And I think that he knew how to present himself, as we talk about with all of these people. Like, they know what to do and they know what to say. I mean, we just got talking about Ted Bundy, who was like, just had this.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely possible. And I believe that she probably didn't know and that he'd conned her.
So that leads me to the next question then. Okay. So was that his thing? Has he done this before? Do you, with his criminal record, has he murdered people before? Are there unsolved cases with the same MO? Is he like the homeless serial killer, right? Where he doesn't have a fixed address, so you don't know where to look for evidence or anything, and he just finds women on dating sites and kills them?
I think that they looked into him, but I think that they didn't find enough to be able to charge him for anything, and he didn't say anything. So I think that, that kind of, unless his DNA would be found at one of these unsolved cases,
right?
I think that, until they have proof. But is he capable of it? Absolutely, I think.
Right. Doesn't it seem to you like it's someone who'd done it before?
I feel like the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing. Like when the girlfriend said, he's a mean drunk. And he probably presented one way when he was like meeting her and they're hanging out. And then he became something. I mean, he was an alcoholic, and I'm not saying alcoholics are people that kill people. I'm just saying, like, I mean, I don't believe in that defense. Like, I fully believe that he knew what he was doing. But I do know that I've seen people who, you know, when they get drunk, they do act different. And it's like, you know, we know that happens. So I don't know what your question. What was your original question?
Well, then I'm thinking like the main question was, and you've answered it very well, was how did she not know that she was dating a homeless dude? Okay. And you're thinking that your thing is that he was able to hide it, or he had a story for it, or, you know, or whatever, down on his luck.
I think he was. Jobs. I think he, I mean, I think that he came, I mean, judging by the police report that his parents, when they tried to get a restraining order, and I feel like he probably came, and this is me just totally, I don't know this for a fact, but probably came from like a middle-class background. He knew how to talk. He knew, not like if you don't come from a middle-class background, you don't know how to talk, but I'm just saying, like, I feel like he would know how to, say things in a way that would make her feel comfortable. And I think that it was part of his like routine, you know, because he's still hanging out with the ex-girlfriend who, even though he's a mean drunk, you know, she's still letting him stay over.
Right.
And so,
because he needs to keep that relationship going just to get inside sometimes, probably.
For whatever reason, he's still able to finesse it enough to where she invites him back into her home, even though they're no longer dating, you know? So I feel like, and, you know, the thing is that he never really, he didn't say why or what his reasons were or whatever. And so, you know, I know that just, I had someone, I was jogging about a year ago in my neighborhood, and, you know, this mom was jogging by me, and she's like, "Hey, I know you do a true crime podcast." I'm like, "Yeah." And she was friends with her. And she said,
"Oh, wow, really?"
Yeah. And she was like, she was an amazing mom. She was so like active in her kids' lives. And I just feel like, based on that interaction with that woman, I felt like I knew her, you know, based on what she said. And I just feel like, you know, he probably had some really great lines, and, you know, she felt comfortable, you know.
Hello, Nigel here. I couldn't help noticing that you're still awake. Now, I'm an owl. I'm supposed to be up at night, but you need your sleep. So if it's your allergy symptoms that are keeping you up, here's a word to the wise. Try Zysol. You see, Zysol works fast to relieve sneezing, runny nose, itchy watery eyes, and itchy nose and throat. And it keeps going strong for 24 hours, so you can get your sleep and wake up refreshed and ready for a productive day ahead. Be wise, all. Take Zysol at night. Use as directed. Starts working in 45 minutes.
The #1 selling product of its kind with over 20 years of research and innovation. Botox Cosmetic, onabotulinum toxin A, is a prescription medicine used to temporarily make moderate to severe frown lines, crow's feet, and forehead lines look better in adults.
Effects of Botox Cosmetic may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness may be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Don't receive Botox Cosmetic if you have a skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyebrow and eyelid drooping, and eyelid swelling. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Tell your doctor about medical history, muscle or nerve conditions including ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects. For full safety information, visit BotoxCosmetic.com or call 877-351-0300.
See for yourself at BotoxCosmetic.com.
So, strangles her, cuts her up with a pruning saw. Okay, excuse me. And then just scatters her body parts in different fucking trash bins with her own trash bag. So they think it happened in her house, in her bathtub, according to the evidence that they collected. And so what got him to confess? Because it wasn't a death penalty, right? He couldn't do that.
No.
Right?
I think that he knew they had him dead to rights, or whatever that saying is. And he didn't want, I mean, I don't know if this is true or not, but like, you know, he's not one of these people who like want to hear all the gory details and like no shame whatsoever and are like, bring it on.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure he was like, you know what, I'm going regardless. There's no way I'm not getting convicted of this. You know,
let's just get to it. Yeah.
Let's, you know, I don't want to go through this myself. I mean, I'm sure he had no care for the family whatsoever. I'm sure that didn't play a part in it at all.
What was that? God, it's been so many places I think I've seen it, but when I kind of had an idea that he was going to be the bad guy when he fell asleep after questioning, because what did someone say, that you put like 3 guys in a room and the guilty person will fall asleep because they figured, all right, I'm caught, I can relax now, you know, nothing to be worried about anymore. And so he fell asleep. That's when I went, oh shit, okay, he actually probably did this.
Well, and I mean, he didn't even put the effort into acting like he was concerned about her. I feel like he just was such a, and I mean, I don't want to say asshole, but I can't, like.
Oh, you can.
I feel like it's not even enough to describe feelings for him, right?
Sure, yeah.
I just feel like he's like, adult things. I don't know.
I know, like
dude,
he was so, you can't say sex, right? You can't say, you know, oh, you have to say adult things. What, like cutting her up with a pruning saw? Is that, you know, adult stuff?
I just feel like he was this entitled guy. I mean, that's what made me feel like he probably had his parents, like, you know, he was the type of person where it's like he just keeps messing up and his parents try to, you know, bail him out and bail him out and bail him out. And then, you know, like he just had that kind of attitude of like, you know, and then, you know, he gets all drunk and just goes crazy. Like, and then
so what's
behind that?
Right. So what's up with hippie Washington State? How come we only got 28 years? You guys don't have life without parole? What's going on?
I think that he just made that deal. You know, he got that deal. Look at you. Brandon's face, his nose is all like bent out of shape.
Yeah. How old is this guy?
He was 37 when it happened in 2016. So we'll probably get out when he's like, what, like in his 60s?
37.
I mean, there's no way he was getting out of
44 right now. 54, 60. If he serves all the time, he'll be in his early 70s.
I mean, I don't get the pruning. You know, the pruning saw, like, why would
what she had in the garage?
I mean, yeah, I just don't. So it's like a disorganized murder and an organized murder in that, but then he puts it in the recycle. Like anybody's that has recycle and regular garbage is going to be like, hey, what's going on?
Doesn't belong there, right? Exactly. I would.
When people are walking around my house and all of a sudden I go in there and they put their dog poop in there. I'm like,
I'll get in trouble with the city, not you. Right. Exactly. I know.
I mean, I just think that's rude. You know, it's like, what are you putting? And you're going to put it in the recycle. It doesn't belong.
Yeah, it doesn't. I know. And so then we get to, I like this part. So the letter that the family wrote about her was really nice. And they quote, I mean, I'm reading it and I'm like, this is, I mean, there's either a historian or a student of like the English poets in there. Cause I mean, she mentions the light going out of my life, right? That's Teddy Roosevelt wrote that on the day, on February 14th, his mother and his wife died on the same day.
Yes.
And he said, the light has gone out of my life.
She died in childbirth. Right. Yes.
And so that was interesting.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting. And then something about Hope Springs.
I did not pick that up. I did not pick that up. I'm a huge Teddy Roosevelt fan. I read so many books on him. So yeah.
And then they wrote something about Hope and Hope, but Hope still springs.
Yeah, eternal. Yeah. I mean, they didn't say eternal,
that's Alexander Pope, one of the great English poets, right? Which I love. And and he's got other stuff. I mean, he wrote To Err is Human, to Forgive Divine. That was Alexander Pope. Damning with Faint Praise was an Alexander Pope idiom. Like really good stuff. So I mean, it's. But my favorite use of Hope Springs Eternal was that's what Stephen King used as the subtitle for Rita Hayworth in The Shawshank Redemption. The subtitle was Hope Springs Eternal, which is fucking really cool. Yeah. So that, you know, I that kind of stuff, I just, you know.
They had me with the kitties. I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, you know, those details of like, you don't realize how much, you know, they are trying to help the family through the worst possible thing that could happen. And those little, I can only imagine that those little kindnesses in those moments just are everything, you know?
Yeah. So so I guess the answer was, I mean, I always assume, like, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm just listening to too many of these detectives, but you don't become a serial killer when you're 37, right? Like you already are probably. So I'm just wondering if anyone's even looking into unsolved stuff. I'm sure they are. I'm sure, just me sitting down here in LA going, are you fucking checking other things? Because they're connecting this Gilgo Beach alleged monster, to a woman in South Carolina right now. Did you read that today?
I didn't read it, but remember Mac? I mean, she was like, I'm going to South Carolina and I would be, yes.
Yep, absolutely.
And I think that they did. I just think that he's the type of person that's not going to talk.
Right.
He's not going to talk.
I mean, there's also the version of it where, he's this blistering shithead drunk, right? And this is the first time that it went way too far.
Yeah.
And he goes, uh-oh. And his dipshit brain's like, okay, I better cut her up and spread this out, and maybe I won't get caught. Just bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. So there's that. It doesn't mean that, there's also, it doesn't have to be this calculated, this is his MO kind of thing. It could be the first time he did it. I
feel like it is, because I loved how the detective was like, he does this and he is the first thing you're going to do is, okay, let me go see if she's got a wood saw. Like, is that really where your mind's going to go? Or would you run? Would you he could have done, he could have called the police, he could have run, and yet he chose to do this. And yet he tried to hide behind I was blackout drunk. Well, I'm sorry, but that does not work, because when you dismember someone, you're not doing that in a fugue state.
Exactly. You know what's going on.
You know what's going on.
You 100% know you did something wrong and you're trying to cover it up. Yeah.
Yes,
oh,
absolutely. Wow. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow. All right. Well, I feel bad for this woman and for her kids. And did the estranged father come back and take the kids? Any idea what happened to the family?
I'm sure that he probably did. There was almost $300,000 raised in a GoFundMe, thing, which, does not equate anything with, they lost their mother. And
right.
But the community really, rallied. And I think nobody could believe that this happened. It didn't have to happen. Why did this happen? And I could see her, just because someone's homeless doesn't mean that they're instantly taboo, or you can't, have empathy and sympathy. And, maybe she didn't know when they first started talking. And then he's like, I didn't want to tell you this because I feel so much, however, about being homeless. And it's like, they developed a friendship, and we just don't know how this all rolled out, what his pitch was, what their relationship was. I mean, I think that, you don't just, when you get to know a person, you don't, unless you're just like, I need to be with a millionaire, I need to be, you know what I mean? I just feel like she didn't do anything wrong. And this
No. I don't think I'm not saying she did anything wrong. I'm just saying, again, and just being completely honest. Okay. He must have had her fooled, because I don't think that a woman, a mother of 3 with 3 kids at home, okay, would knowingly agree to dating a homeless person. Call me a dick if you want. I don't know. You could be the nicest, most well-rounded guy in the world, but still, that's going to be a red flag for a woman, a mama bear,
But what if he had a really compelling story?
Still, regardless, go take care of your shit. Go take care of stuff. And I'll help you out, and I'll be a friend to you right now. But with regard to allowing you emotionally to enter my life and maybe the life of my kids, that's not happening right now.
Yeah. And I think that is one scenario that could have happened, and we just don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know. But I think that it is possible for people to completely snow you, and you think you're dealing with one person, and you're just looking at them and how they speak and how they carry themselves, and you're dealing with a monster, and you don't know. And I think that that's what this is, big time. So
see, and it's funny, Alexander Pope, right? He was this great religious apologist. Okay. and his enemies were the big voices of the Enlightenment, like Voltaire and those people, the first guys to really kind of reject a literal translation of the Bible. Okay. And so here's Pope with his optimism philosophy, right? And that man simply can't understand the mind of God. And so it boils down to, whatever is best, right? Which I think is bullshit, right? I think that we need to kind of be willing to stand up against our current situation and not accept it,
Yeah. Of course you would think that.
Of course.
Yeah.
And say, let me try and build something that is more in line with the life that I want to build, and not just, oh, well, can't know the mind of God, I guess is how it's supposed to be. No, I think that's a bunch of bullshit. So, but again, Alexander Pope is fantastic, and I love a lot of his work. But I think I like Voltaire a little bit better. But anyway, can't blame me.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking like I was an English lit major, so I was like, okay, Carlyle, all right,
great, William Blake, love them all. But these guys, mid 18th century, okay, that's I get it. They were kind of a little bit behind where the sentiment, literary sentiment, was kind of moving, but it's okay, because then we get Keats and Byron and Shelley and all these titans of English lit. But anyway, well done. Thank you very much again for this episode. Hope all of you enjoyed it. Anything you want to tease for next week?
Got a couple things in the hopper, and I'd love to keep you guessing.
Okay, great. Well, I want all of our wonderful listeners to know that we have a new network home. We are on a wonderful podcast network called Cloud 10. Please go to their website and look at all of their other wonderful shows that they have, because they have a really great selection of shows for your listening enjoyment, spanning true crime and self-help and sports and comedy. So we're very lucky to have landed where we are. And there's going to be some big news regarding the Murder Chronicles coming up in the next month or so. So stay tuned. But you can expect no interruption of our content. Like, we'll still be churning out the episodes for you. So we appreciate you spending your time with us this week, and we look forward to checking in with you again next week. Please, if you will, support the great companies that support our show. And if you have a second, go over to Apple Podcasts and give us a review. Share with your friends. It helps out a lot. Carolyn, anything to add?
Nope. You just teed that up nicely. We so appreciate you all listening. I'm Carolyn Osorio with the wonderful Brandon Morgan, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you so much. Stay safe out there. Thanks, everybody.
The Murder Chronicles is a pie-in-the-sky production recorded live in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. We are produced by Brandon Morgan and myself, music by Soundstripe. For Pie in the Sky Media, I'm Carolyn Osorio, your writer and host. Thanks for listening.